Hey, good evening, everybody. Hi, welcome. I'm Ross Cook, the founder of Ross Cook Balancing. I help people build relationships, congruent relationships, first within themselves, secondly, in what they do, and lastly, to those around them. Congruent, healthy relationships. In business, that would look like we help high level entrepreneurs overcome self sabotaging beliefs and behaviors so that they can continue to grow sustainable, profitable, healthy businesses and a value based life. Okay. Tonight I want to talk just a little bit about quotes. We talked last night about breathlessness and how the Hawaiians understood conversation very differently than the Haoles do. Okay? And Haoles, which today means white people, didn't mean white people back in the day. It meant breathless ones. I want to start by asking you something that's really important to me. What are your 2 or 3 or 5 or 7 or 9 favorite quotes in the world? And if they're really your favorites, why are they your favorites? And when's the last time you shared them with anybody? You know, if you pick out the people you love more than anybody else and you really like them for a particular reason, they're dynamic, they mean what they say, they're emotional when they deliver a message, they care about talking to you. If you ask them their quotes, they're going to go immediately into that place of conviction and conversation. And it's a lot different than the traditional conversation we have day to day. How you doing? Good. What's going on? Nothing. How you doing? Fine. Okay, great. What's going on? Yeah, back and forth. Table tennis, back and forth, back and forth. 2 feet from each other. The ball just flying back and forth breathlessly. Oh my goodness. What are your favorite quotes? Why? Where'd you learn them? Was there a teachable moment that was connected to that? Why is that your favorite quote? Great question. And then listen. And when they get to their second or third or fourth explanation, they're going to begin telling you who they are at a level that is amazing. That is just amazing. That's well beyond our average conversations. And that's what we're here for. That's why we converse in the first place. That's why we want to have congruent conversations, value-based conversations, real relationships based on something other than just the common chatter. Okay? Does that make sense? So write your favorite quotes in the comments. Or go to rosscookbalancing.com and throw them in there on the website and make a comment as to this is what you're commenting about. Thank you. That'd be a couple ways to do it. Most of my clients will probably just text me. But let's see, what are your favorite quotes? And when's the last time you shared them to people that are important to you? It wouldn't be fair if I said, what are they, without letting you know I practice on this a lot. And this is vitally important to me within a day, within a given day. I not only attempt to get quotes out that are critically important to me, I also endeavor to speak my values. So I roll the words kindness and openness and faith and wonder and unconditional love and calling and virtue and okay, got it? I roll it into conversations, and the first couple times you roll your values in those conversations, you're going to kind of stick in the throat. Like, I know the first couple times I tried to say kindness and make it sound natural, it was like, it was awkward. And it's worthy of improving it. Okay, a couple of my quotes. It's never, ever, ever the other person. It's never, ever, ever the other person. It's Barbara Dewey. You've got to trust what you don't know. That's Barbara Dewey. What if it's perfect right now? What if it's perfect right now? That's Dar Emmy. And she would go on to say, if it's perfect right now and you don't notice the perfection right now, what are you paying attention to instead? Fear, worry. You run into the future where there aren't answers. I don't know. Very different if you're living that value and living that quote. Does that make sense? Does it make sense? If the river had an ego, it would never reach the sea. Lao Tzu. We come into this world perfect, and then we begin to make inventions of ourselves. And then after a while, we add to the inventions of ourselves until we only believe the inventions and not the purity of ourself that came in here. That's Ernest Holmes. Okay, that's just a handful of them. Okay, and when you begin to share those, they're going to change the conversation. They're going to change the conversations to meaningfulness, because one state of consciousness will create and derive one kind of result, and another state of consciousness will create a different kind of result. So in other words, if you're happy, it's going to create a different result in your world than if you're worried or downtrodden or afraid. Okay? Now that's not like, oh my goodness, I've never heard that before. But those are the kind of things that when you share them back and forth like that, that becomes the common parlance of your language throughout the day. And it really makes for a different level of communication and connection. And I believe that's what we're all looking for. There may be somebody around you that day who's just on the pinnacle of fear. And they just need to hear some strong, profound, clear words. And stay away from the ones that have barbs of humor in them. No, we don't need it. All right? Stay in things that you believe in profoundly. I'm Ross Cook of Ross Cook Balancing. Play with the quotes. Play with saying your values smoothly in conversation. And let me know how it goes. Give me a comment and let me know how it's working. I'm Ross. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Be well.